the same thing. So why not take that away if you're not going to necessarily play them? But we do have obviously the other bans coming in.
Yeah, Evelyn was the final ban for Fnatic, and there is the Twisted Fate from SK Gaming. They're just saying, no, you know what, let's just get rid of him from this game. Even if we have the chance to have him, we don't want him.
Yeah, so I want to see what the first pick is going to be, because obviously we have junglers open. You talked earlier about Varus maybe being picked up right away because both AD carriers are very strong with them. I would have to say, in my opinion, it would most likely be a jungler. Oof, I think I said that because I saw Nunu walked in right after that. But most likely a jungler, just because, to me, both teams really revolve around their jungler. Like, you have hyrqBot really providing pressure in the mid lane for ocelote, as well as bot lane, even ganking top lane. Same thing with Cyanide, who, as we know personally, is one of the best stealers with the smite, and with Nunu if he takes that consume in Europe.
Yeah, and funnily enough, Cyanide has had the most assists out of all players in the spring split and the playoffs combined. So now he is bringing in the kills for his team, that's for sure. It's going to be a Caitlyn first pick here for SK Gaming, and that Nautilus will stand as well.
It's really interesting to see so many Caitlyns picked up right now, because we're on the 3.7 patch, so her attack speed, her base attack speed was reduced, but her attack speed per level was increased from 3% to 4. And obviously you can't proc your headshot off of turrets anymore, so her harass early on, or actually her early game in general just kind of went down a little bit. They kind of toned it down, but her late game is even better just because of the extra attack speed you get. But already off the bat, it kind of shows you that SK, they kind of want to go for more of a late game composition with that Nautilus, but I wouldn't be surprised for them to pair in a really strong support. For instance, like Thresh, who still is available, or even Elise, because we have seen Nyph playing Elise, and we have seen both these teams playing Elise today so far, to really combo that in and provide ganks.
So we are going to see a Varus Janna second and third pick here for Fnatic, pretty much confirming that Nunu will be in the jungle, but we know that sOAZ is not bad on Nunu in the lane here.
I'm looking at you like, come on sOAZ, please play him in the top lane. That was against Wicked that one game. But yeah, I wouldn't really assume he'd be going there, especially with the jungle changes. Why not put him there where he's really strong? And we saw RNA just in the game previously. Just phenomenal play out of him. Didn't do a lot of counter jungling, but the ganks were spot on. His ultimates in fights really separated Evil Geniuses, and I guarantee Cyanide will be able to do the same thing. And it's interesting to see the Janna, where she kind of came back in out of nowhere. She's always a strong champion because of the amount of CC you have and the disengage, but at the moment, the only real engage that SK has is that Nautilus, so it's a little bit tricky, but I guess they're prepping for something.
Which is also a fearsome champion when it comes to engage, let's be honest with that one. I mean, getting in there with the hook, getting that depth charge off. And Kennen picked in there as well with that Janna already there, and we've seen time and time again that Janna does really well at stopping this Kennen actually getting into those fights with his ultimate running.
I'm trying to think of a specific game that was in North America LCS the other day.
It was Chowster through the wall.
Yeah, knocked him through the wall back into his own race when he was on the blue side, and it just completely countered him. And that's exactly spot on, is what do you do with a Kennen if you can't get into the middle team and lock them down? And that's what he's going to do. What Kobe said in this, he's going to ride the wave off of Nami.
So with the last two picks coming in then for Fnatic, Lissandra, we saw Lord playing in that victory against Evil Geniuses early. Very, very strong champion, mobile, ability to lock down, high damage, just a brilliant champion overall. And then the Malphite as well.
Joe, I'm really scared for SK right now. Like, just in terms of the picks that Fnatic has. You saw Lord, like you're saying with Lissandra, he would go in and pretty much sacrifice himself, but he would lock down the key members of Evil Geniuses in that game. But then imagine a Malphite to follow that up. Like, that is just ridiculous. You're going to have such a hard time dealing with that, and it's really going to depend on how well Nyph can play that Nami to really kind of reset the fights or maybe disengage them a little bit. But honestly, I'm loving Fnatic's lineup right now.
Well, let's see what SK finish off with, and it will be the Orianna. Of course, Orianna that pretty much qualified SK Gaming for the spring split all the way back at Gamescom. We saw some amazing performances with Ocelot on that Orianna. So really interesting setups from both sides of the table.
Yeah, and the Orianna is going to provide a little bit of their engage. So if you can pair them all together, then knock them up with the Nami ultimate, or even throw it on Kennen if he's going to flash in, you can really provide the opportunity for you to land everything you need. But still, the real key member is nRated. Like, he's an amazing support. He's easily one of the best, if not the best, in Europe. And that Janna, haven't seen on him too much, but I guarantee his ultimates are going to be so spot on that SK, they're really going to have to work for their engages.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see this Lissandra coming through again. I mean, it's always nice to see the newer champions coming in. Obviously, Lissandra back in the spring split in the playoffs was taken out, I guess we can say banned for everyone, globally banned, because he was so new into the league. So right now, we're seeing a lot of her, At the moment, we're actually seeing sOAZ with Lissandra in this top lane and xPeke with Malphite in the middle lane.
This is going to be so good for Fnatic. I hope SK does realize this. Obviously, they should when they go into the countdown. But so you're going to have Lissandra top lane, ideally versus Kevin on Kennen. That's going to be hard to say. So pretty much a Lissandra lane is really easy to gank with, first of all, just because she can get in there quickly and lock him down. But you follow that up with Cyanide on Nunu. He's going to keep him slowed, so Kevin won't be able to escape. But it's going to be really hard for Kevin, to necessarily farm as well, because Lissandra has a really good damage early on, and she can afford to be in that really close range, considering you can't harass her that well with shurikens, because she can sit in the minion wave.
And the funny thing is, sOAZ has naturally been a player that showed us time and time again that he can pick up a new champion and play it to the level that we've not seen it at that point, or pretty much pick up a champion that we've just flat out not seen at that point as well. I mean, he is a very versatile player. Could argue the best top laner in the world after winning the 1v1s over at the All-Stars just a few weeks ago. But we are going to be getting into the game here. It is El Clasico. The current record is 18-0 for Fnatic in this one. Can SK break the curse?
Joe, honestly, I really hope to see it. I just hope we have a good game in general. But SK, they've been working so hard. They always have. 0-18. That's not a score that they really enjoy having. So maybe we'll see them be able to turn that around here. But looking at any early action in this game, I really have to say both teams will most likely play relatively safe. But if anyone's going to invade, it's going to be SK, because you have the ball to scout, you have the Nautilus dredge line if you want. You potentially can get out that Kennen stun if you obviously hit your shurikens or whatever you level up in time. And then the Nami, that Aqua Prison is going to be so crucial if they do want to go for an invade.
Well, let's see. Right now, SK on that top side. Actually, YellOwStaR is in the brush there just below them. Of course, he will back away from that one. He's pretty much isolated from the rest of his team there. No way that he's going to get himself caught out from that one. But SK definitely working their way over towards that blue buff.
xPeke was just standing there like, yeah, go ahead, walk by. I'm not too worried, but it looks like they are going to get seeded. But in the meantime, SK actually just warding up and backing out. And sOAZ doing some good harass here. We might see a level 1 engage happen. And I honestly don't know which way it'll go. Or we'll see a pause. I think we're going to see a pause.
Well, we're going to be, left to wait in tension for this one for level 1 to see if anything actually happens there. Did see a couple of wards put down by both teams. Obviously, SK did ward in the brush there by that blue buff. So they're going to be able to keep a track of where Cyanide goes with that Nunu early on. And then we've not really touched on Nunu, really. I mean, we saw him in that last game, but he has obviously been changed so that he gets those bonuses now coming out from the jungle camps.
Right, so if you take a Golem camp, you'll actually get 10% health increase and size increase. If you take a Wraith or a Wolf, you get 3 seconds of increased movement speed after killing something. And of course, if you take a Lizard, you actually get, I believe it's 1%, something like that. It's like 1% of your total health and extra damage in terms of magic and your spells. So he's been changed around quite a bit. You've seen probably the video on Reddit where Nunu's solo dragon at level 3. So it can always happen. And not to mention the Blood Bow late game, if he builds it like RNA would build it a little bit earlier, a little bit supporty, a little bit tanky, it can really be hard to deal with. Not to mention, if he sticks to CandyPanda, how is he going to do damage when he has no attack speed with that and a Malphite in his face? Yeah,
and that's I think the real threat that they've got coming out, or at least one of the real threats coming in. We saw Lissandra in that last game, and honestly, the damage that she can put down and the initiation potentially, I think EG showed there that they're not 100% confident going up against Lissandra. Just the way that some of those kills happened showed me that they weren't 100% familiar with how that Lissandra could really start fights and what her entire kit could really do in the game.
It's selfish play like that really can win you games. You saw TSM, who won the summer split back in North America. Like I referred to him before, Reginald, but he does that consistently. But his team's able to pretty much win the fight off of that. And Frontlord did that. They played extremely well, and maybe we'll see sOAZ be able to do that himself.
So we are back into the game then, and let's see how this level 1 all kicks off. And there's quite a lot going down there on towards Nyph. He's very, very low at this point. Cyanide suffering a similar fate. hyrqBot gonna hook him in. He will have to flash away. xPeke's low. Kevin's low. Everybody's low at this point. sOAZ maybe the one to get caught out. And in the end, everyone loses half HP. Nobody dies.
They're like, yeah, that was a good warm-up. Then we'll just back out and go back to base. But we did see some summoners blown there, some key summoners. sOAZ no longer has his Ignite. Cyanide no longer has Flash, which is going to be kind of key when he starts getting into some ganking. And nRated doesn't have Exhaust. Over on the other side for SK, hyrqBot used his Flash, and Nyph used his Flash and Ignite. So Obviously, I have to give it in favor of SK since Nami has the ability to escape extremely well, but you're seeing CandyPanda couldn't back and heal. You didn't see hyrqBot go back and heal either, as well as Nyph, so they're already hurting right off the bat, where over on Fnatic's side, they were able to do that. So that gives Fnatic an early advantage.
And the game somewhat normalizes here after that crazy little start where everyone fancied a bit, but they didn't want to bite off too much that they could chew, and while that left us with pretty much everyone at that half HP, as we said. And we're going to have some funky lanes going on in this one, though, so we should probably take a bit of a look at that. We can see that the AD carry's facing off in the middle lane right now. That's YellOwStaR with Varus against CandyPanda's Caitlyn. In the top lane, we've got Malphite versus Orianna. That's what we expected to see, but maybe in the middle lane. And then in the bottom lane on the other side, we've got Lissandra versus Kennen. But right now, SK are on the blue buff.
Yes, they are, and they don't know that it was actually warded, that entrance, and they're going to be backing out of it after taking the blue with the smite, and it looks like they're actually going to escape this, so very well done. xPeke does get caught, though.
Dredge line coming out on towards xPeke, and with 3 men there, you definitely can't afford to stand around, although Fnatic had managed to gather 4 men just to reply to that one there. Nothing coming of it, though, aside from the fact that Fnatic, of course, did manage to pick up that blue buff on the other side, as well as SK doing the same to them.
Yeah, so pretty much in the end, nothing really traded out there. Unfortunately for Fnatic, they weren't able to lock hyrqBot down and go for that kill, but you mentioned the lane swaps, and yeah, it's kind of becoming something a little bit more normal, not necessarily with this lineup of supports. Usually, with someone like Blitzcrank, you're able to roam around the mid lane and really start to pull jungle creeps away and really hurt the other jungler. But you have a Nunu, so he can do that himself, but AD carry supports in the mid lane. CandyPanda already down very low in health, so that kind of shows that Fnatic is winning out this trade.
And that's pretty ridiculous there. CandyPanda getting low time after time. I mean, still has barrier and flash, but so does YellOwStaR, and he's a player that definitely won't be afraid to use it there to get in and maybe pop those stacks of blight coming out. Lane Peke got a big wave of minions here to be clearing out, but this is always a fantastic duel to watch, the 2 Spaniards, Ocelot and xPeke going head to head.
Yeah, it is, and I was taking a look at Masteries and Runes real quick for xPeke. He's not running any AP, obviously, but he's also not running a percent armor or magic pen. He's running a flat armor pen and flat magic pen, so he's not really going to be building any sort of damage. If anything, he's going straight tank, maybe a Chalice, just to kind of sustain in lane against Ocelot, but most likely just going straight tank, and we'll be following up sOAZ in these fights.
Yep, and there is sOAZ in that bottom lane, currently pretty much bang on even with the Kennen of Kevin, who will be coming back into lane with a double Doran's Blade, so wanting to get as much harass as he can out in those early stages.
And the big thing that gives you is, it doesn't hurt you obviously as the game goes on too much, but it's all about that early game for Kennen. If you can pull off some really good CS, maybe pick up a kill, you'll be very well set for the rest of the game. So Doran's Blade can provide a lot of harass to sOAZ, who's that mid-range mage, that's hard to say, and really kind of benefit from it.
The CS between the 2 AD carries right now is also bang on even, so not much to separate these 2 teams out, as YellOwStaR going to get caught in the bubble, and there goes the Howling Gale just to keep him safe. YellOwStaR would have been safe, there wasn't really a danger of him dying in that scenario, but every little bit of chip that you can get off onto your opposition is going to help. Yeah, it is, and they're both running like percent armor or percent lifesteal as well, so you're not really going to harass each other too much out of lane, especially since you have that Nami to heal you up. But YellOwStaR is actually running 19 flat armor pen, so a little bit different for him, as most AD carries don't do that. But it's really going to work out well for him here because Kevin's going to go with Zhonya's. Ocelot might end up going something like that. So that's going to help out, and we're going to see as the game goes on. Yeah, once again, bit of damage exchange, no real commitment from either side of things. But now we see Nunu headed down. I say headed down, he's more headed up and then back down, because of course he is in the enemy jungle right now. Just getting himself a nice warding position. So I'm doing a decent amount of damage here on towards Kevin as well, forcing him to burn through all of those health pops.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job down there, and I really want to see how that lane's going to develop, because obviously 6 minutes in, no kills going down just yet, but I honestly couldn't pinpoint exactly where that first blood will end up coming. But I can say this though, I'm a little surprised that CandyPanda is actually even with YellOwStaR in terms of CS. Caitlyn, you want to use that range tier advantage as much as possible in the early game, but because he got harassed out so early on, he had to back out, and it kind of kept YellOwStaR even with him.
And a very pensive start to this one. I mean, we said that a lot at the start of the spring split as well. There's a lot on the line in the early stage. We know how important it is to get off to a good start. And, well, it's Fnatic versus SK. There's more than just you're standing in the LCS up for here as well. it's all about pride between these two very long-standing esports organizations. And then down in the bottom lane, actually, we are going to see Kevin using his ultimate there for just a little while onto sOAZ. Did good damage, but not able to finish off and find the first blood.
I think sOAZ was expecting some more damage than that onto Kevin, because he just saw him and was like, hey, I'm going to engage on you. Maybe just a measurement of seeing how much damage I can do to you, but Kevin completely turned that around, and sOAZ maybe picking up a cloth armor to deal with the auto attack harass that Kevin puts out, and also another Doran's ring, so he wants to keep his mana up. He doesn't really have any guaranteed blue buffs, so he's kind of resorting to that, unless they want to steal it away from SK, but I don't really see that happening too much. And I love how you pointed out, like, it's the first week, and these teams who are in it from the spring season know that how important it is to win every game. Like, you can never relax or slack off in any of these weeks, and they're battling for pride.
Now, we did see xPeke starting to gain a bit of a lead onto ocelote up in his top lane, but that has since really fallen off a little bit. Still hanging around the 7 mark. Both players got the chalice, but you can see that Malphite with that crystalline flask wards in there, and the boots as well. Obviously, ocelote not being home to spend just yet. Actually, I say that, he's only sat on 570 gold, so that's just a bit of a lie from my side of things. Didn't quite pick up what we saw picked up from xPeke's side of things, but other than that, now in his top side, a bit of an invade starting to come around. Cyanide doing what Anunu can do really well here with that blood boil on, with his consume. He's clearing the jungle really fast. CandyPanda going to get caught, will use his barrier early on. Is he going to be able to escape this one? They turn it around onto Cyanide. Hilt over Peacemaker comes out, and not a kill. Still, a 3-on-3 in the jungle. It stays level.
That was a great job by Nyph to land that Aqua Prison just to stop that chase, and CandyPanda going to be thanking him for that one. And, you know, the top lane, there's something we haven't touched on, which is always important. When we saw earlier today, Charu, specifically from Meteor Makers on his Ahri, we have teleport on Malphite. And we've seen, obviously, in the last split, how important teleport can be. We see in this split so far how important it can be. And I want to know when he's going to use it, because we always look at it, Joe, as, you know, it's kind of a wasted summer spell until you get to that late game, or if you use it really early and benefit from it. But we're going to see if he's going to use it anytime soon. Obviously, he can get down for a dragon if he needs to, if he can dodge ocelote's ulti.
Well, right now we can see that SK is starting to move through towards that red buff once again. Rewards are down. Kevin will be in there to back him up. Na'Vi going to be coming possibly down there as well, and this could get very dangerous very quickly for both sides if they're not careful. There's a lot of vision. There is the red actually going to be taken away in the end. So as it's going to go in on towards CandyPanda, this could very well be first blood. Great 50 caliber net coming out, but CandyPanda is falling very low. Finished off there, and it will be a possible second. A double kill coming out for sOAZ. And it doesn't get any worse than that.
It's not over.
Kill early on. We've got Kevin still on the bomb, but that dragon has been started.
Yes, it is. He does have ultimate available. Looks like he's just going to back off, though, and give it away. So
oh, top lane. ocelote's going very low into xPeke as well. And that will be a kill. And the dragon.
Yeah.
Everything. What just happened there in that last 30, 40 seconds? Everything just opening up for Fnatic.
And SK just got a 2K gold lead off of that. Or sorry, Fnatic, sorry. Fnatic just got a 2K gold lead off of that with the dragon and those 3 kills. A phenomenal job by them. And they're approaching that point where they can start the team fight. We had expected actually 1v1 ocelote, but he didn't have Ignite. Like, and he still was able to 1v1 it, which to me is really surprising, but just shows at the skill level that these two players have.
And not to mention the fact that sOAZ now is playing with a double buff, which is just going to make him all that more annoying and dangerous to Kevin down in this bottom lane. We'll see what he actually comes back with next time he gets back in there. He's got 1,700 gold to spend now. Does sOAZ a little bit behind on that farm, but well, double kill with the first blood and the dragon is just a lot of gold to work with. And I'm sure that Kevin's going to have to be a little bit careful with how that one all breaks down on his side. Meanwhile, Malphite, of course, the xPeke did get that kill, as we said, on towards ocelote and has rebuilt that big gold CS lead that he had before. Now up to almost 30 CS.
And he also has a haunting guys now on top of that. So if he wasn't doing enough damage already to ocelote, he's going to be fine even more in the bottom. We see sOAZ get engaged upon.
Yeah, we are going to see the depth charge coming in. Kevin going to use his ultimate as well, and surely sOAZ is a dead man here. Kevin will take the kill and picks up that double buff, and that just shows you that sOAZ is feeling confident, thinking that Kevin might not go in. into him, but with the help of hyrqBot, they can make it work.
Yeah, we talked about hyrqBot being so impactful, and with this Nautilus, he's been able to do it right there. The double buffs, like you mentioned, is such a key thing to have, because Kevin, who already built 2 Doran's Blades, is going to be able to harass him even more with the red on top of that. And it looks like SK's not done. They're going to be pushing the bottom turret as well, in the meantime, the mid turret. So they might be able to pick up the first turret of the game here.
And there is that bottom outer turret being taken pretty low. Not sure if it'll be actually taken down as a whole. There is CandyPanda and YellOwStaR again exchange some damage. Nyph, he's going to be knocked up in the middle lane. But, you know, that turret down in bottom, also very important for SK.
It really will be, because it gives Kevin that ability to really roam around if he wants to be free. And that's going to cause a lot of problems for Fnatic, where he's going to be able to gank the top lane or mid lane potentially and really start to snowball, you know, CandyPanda, who unfortunately isn't as far ahead as he'd like to be. And then also ocelote, who's, like you mentioned before, that 30 CS difference, has been struggling in the top lane. Doesn't have Athenes and Holy Grail just yet, but they're really going to depend on his ultimate, so he really needs to get something going.
Right now, Nyph just putting a couple of pink wards around that middle lane as CandyPanda was just pushing things through. Cyanide having to come over to cover. I mean, that is a dangerous lane. That Caitlyn, just the range alone is going to be something that they have to watch out for there. But look at this, sOAZ starting to wander up towards that middle lane, but they've actually started to back away, back underneath that turret. Let's see if they end up going in for it.
Yeah, he was spotted by a ward coming up from bot lane, so it looks like they're going to back away, just like you said, and maybe not concede anything here.
Oh.
Actually, it looks like they might concede, but we're going to see Fnatic go in here.
They are going to go in for this one. sOAZ right in on top. It's CandyPanda that's the target. Nyph going low. There is the absolute zero, and it's the double kill with Cyanide from it as well. Finishes off perfectly, but he might now be in trouble himself, as he has to use that flash away. Fnatic coming around as a 4, and that will be those 2 kills secured and safe. Meanwhile, in the top lane, xPeke has got one over on his Spidey's friend once again.
So 3 kills for Fnatic and the end of that, and yet again, xPeke 1v1 ocelote right there, reducing engage happening in the middle, but Kevin, his ultimate, just going to catch YellOwStaR.
Yeah, YellOwStaR is the one in trouble. He will flash away at the same time. hyrqBot now turned around and onto sOAZ, and now Kevin, in all kinds of trouble, gets 1 kill, but he will die at the end. Cyanide will pick up another one, plus the double buffs again. How long have those double buffs been in play?
Too long. I mean, we might see a buff on every single member of every team right now if we keep going at this rate. But Fnatic, they're really in the driver's seat. They have a nice goal lead, they have a nice kill lead, and you just see the strength of Lissandra right there. Went straight into CandyPanda, locked him down, and the team just collapsed on him and killed him.
Right now, SK just going to try and push this middle lane out here possibly, knowing that Fnatic have all backed away. And they want a first turret. They want something to bring this gold total back right now. I mean, if we look down the CS, xPeke versus ocelote, it's not even a contest there, especially when you add those kills into things. You know, you got CandyPanda slightly ahead of things, but overall, they are behind, and they need to be careful that that level, you know, doesn't go too far away.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about SK's lineup is it's always going to be good just because of the champions they have. I mean, Nyph, if he can land a perfect wave into a Kevin, you know, surfing it the entire way into Fnatic's team, like, they still have a really strong composition. Yeah, they're behind right now, but SK, they've come back from bigger deficits than this, and I really don't think they're out just yet.
That's for sure. I mean, we have seen them come back from games. We've also seen them ahead by this kind of margin and end up losing
especially
it as well.
Against Fnatic too.
Especially against Fnatic. You know, ocelote is not shy of saying they seem to have a bit of a curse when it comes to playing Fnatic, as CandyPanda going very aggressive here on towards YellOwStaR. YellOwStaR turning around. There comes the ace in the hole. Not enough damage though to get the kill.
Cyanide was coming in from the backside here. Looks like he might go for it.
He's going to keep going through. There's the absolute zero coming in. It will be cancelled out by Nyph. The dredge line doesn't quite land from hyrqBot, but in the top lane, ocelote again. What is happening here? xPeke just trolling him right now. Finishes off another kill. That is 3 out of 3. The shockwave did nothing to stop that happening.
It's like, well, he used it earlier, but the thing was, xPeke is so sticky. Like, just with the seismic shards, able to keep up with him. And what's been happening top lane? Like, that's the real question. Yeah, xPeke is up 3 kills against him now, but why has no one been helping that yet? Like, you know how key ocelote will be to the whole composition, and yet they've been left on their own island just to kill each other. Well, at least one kill the other.
Now we've seen the Bloodthirster picked up by the best support that Fnatic have ever had, YellOwStaR, 0-0-6 right now with that 125 CS. And look at this, Cyanide is trying to have that red buff away, but this time there are wards on top of his position, and hyrqBot's going to go in there. Cyanide got that red buff anyway, and he's just going to walk himself out. Possibly here. hyrqBot also not the easiest one to get away from. There's the tidal wave, there's the depth charge, but xPeke comes in from the side. He's going to slow things down. Kevin trying to get through onto him. xPeke will head south now. He gets bubbled up, and he's going to be the one to fall after all that. Cyanide will say, thanks mate, that is very good teamwork from you, but sorry that you died.
Yeah, I was looking at like their kills right now. They both had 3, so in the end, one member of SK was going to get the killing spree bonus off of that. But still, look how much SK committed to that to kill them. It took them too long, and in the time that happened, Fnatic was able to push that bottom turret. They're going to go for the second one now, but SK might be able to respond with the top turret themselves.
Yeah, we'll see there are 2 men up there, hyrqBot and Kevin. The bottom lane is still being pushed by Fnatic, and actually they're going to go in on towards ocelote once again. He's not worth too much at this point. sOAZ, on the other hand, may be worth a little bit more, but honestly, will Nami have the damage? No, but Caitlyn may do, and that's going to be CandyPanda coming around the side. YellOwStaR will put down the ultimate. That will slow them completely down. Meanwhile, in the top lane, there's a big fight going on. Kevin going very low. Absolute Zero is going to get him a kill again, and now they're on towards hyrqBot. nRated knocked him back with the use of that Monsoon, and Nautilus not getting away. xPeke picks up another one.
If I'm not mistaken, nRated ulted him into the ultimate of Cyanide and actually caught him with that damage. That teamwork is ridiculous, and I mentioned earlier, nRated, we haven't seen him on Janna too much, but he's an amazing Janna. Like any support he'll play, he's always fantastic at, and Fnatic now up 11-3 at this point. It's really coming to that point where SK, like, they have to figure out how are they going to get back, and honestly, Dragon might be that point since they have an Oracle on Nyph. The problem is they can't 5-on-5 fight anymore. That's the problem they're running into.
So right now, Fnatic going to get a ward down on top of Dragon. There is Nyph there with the Oracle. He's not in a position to really get down there and do anything about this one. He may just have a bit of sight there from that one ward off of the side, but, well, vision's all well and good, but if you can't do anything about it, it's just a bit more of a tease to, as you see it go down. At least they'll have the timer on it.
At least they'll have the timer, so, you know, that's going to hurt them quite a bit, and their whole composition, like we know Caitlyn, she's going to be weak in this mid-game phase. She's going to obviously power up as the game goes on, especially with the Nami, the speed increase. She shouldn't really be hit too much in these fights. Should be able to dodge most of the ultimates. And SK, they just kind of need to hold on. Kevin needs to build. Looks like he's going for an Abyssal right now. He's unfortunately not able to get his Zonias, so he's kind of behind in terms of his build, but the Abyssal is going to help out quite a bit. And like I said, if they get that perfect ultimate, they can set up a fight where they can win, or at least pick up a couple of members where it's a favorable fight.
So let's have a look down those items right now. We see Fort Malphite almost up towards that Sunfire cape now as well, which just makes him so much more beefy. 4-1-1 currently is xPeke, and 3 of those kills have come from, I say simple 1v1s, it's never simple, but yeah, you know, he's made it look that way on towards ocelote, who's honestly not quite had the performance that, you know, it was said on the analyst desk. He's probably going to have to be the man to step things up here as Mutant in the top lane. As we're talking about it, ocelote again, he's going to be beaten down, has to flash away. xPeke's got a flash of his own, and that will be kill number 4, not quite. Can he get the finisher? No, ocelote walks away, and now xPeke has to run himself away from that one. sOAZ starting to come in there. Nyph is up in the top lane as well. Well, xPeke has continued to turn this one around because Nunu is there, and Nyph now, the one that's going to try and run for his life, gets the bubble down, but xPeke picks up that one. Here comes sOAZ from the side. hyrqBot has to flash away, and that was just a big mess coming out for SK in the end.
It was a great job by Nyph to save ocelote right there, but in the end, he probably should have let ocelote die. Because of that, he lost his Oracle. And honestly, at this point in the game, when you have that,
I think Nyph was actually worth more than ocelote.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was. That's also the second point of it, is that, you know, they already lost their middle, bottom, and top tier 1 turret. They need the vision that they in their own jungle to really control it, to kind of maybe get a sneaky kill on a Fnatic. But look at the ward coverage right now on the mini-map for Fnatic. They have vision wards, they have sight wards down everywhere on the top side of the jungle, and SK, they can't afford another Oracle to clear that out.
Right now, Kevin is actually moving in from the bottom side. He was spotted and actually dealt with the hail of arrows from YellOwStaR. Gets that slowdown, stops really any oncoming pressure. There were 4 with Nami backing up as a 5th to put that damage down, but didn't work out for them. Cyanide right now just going to be warding up with the pink there on the Baron, and actually built over Peacemaker comes in. Few auto attacks. Cyanide right now with that Aegis really just does not care. Of course, the Spirit of the Ancient Golem giving him that 500 health plus everything else doesn't even hurt him.
Yeah, especially since he can consume right off the back of that too and just get so healthy from it. And I'm looking at this fight, it's like, who's SK going to kill right now? As you do see sOAZ going in on Kevin.
Oh, Kevin's in all kinds of trouble. Unstoppable Force was used as well. Uses his ultimate, but sOAZ picks up another one. And that will be a 4-1-3 Alessandra with a 4-0-5 Nunu, a 5-1-12 Malphite.
It's funny.
2. 5-1-2, not 12.
The champions have changed for Fnatic, but it's still like the trilogy or the series of killing Kevin over and over. They just grouped up on him with the Malphite ultimate, with the Lissandra ultimate, and just blew him away. It looks like they're going to go in for Ocelot still.
Yeah, sOAZ has not finished here, and he is going to go in on towards Ocelot. There's the shockwave, which pulls xPeke actually closer in. Obviously doesn't have that unstoppable force. The turret, though, will go down. YellOwStaR actually having to use his flash there to get away in the middle, but again, Fnatic able to get in and put down the damage, picking up objectives along the way.
And SK, they have a lot of work cut out for them to get back in this game, down almost 10,000 gold at this point. They haven't been able to get one dragon yet. Baron has not been taken as of yet either, but CandyPanda, 185 CS. He's ahead of YellOwStaR right now, though he only has 5 assists less, but he has the Infinity Edge done. So he'll at least be doing a little bit of damage, and Ocelot, he's kind of fallen back into more of a support Orianna role right now in terms of him not having much damage. Kevin actually picked up an AC large rod, so he's trying to go for a Zhonya's and an Abyssal Scepter at the same time kind of thing, which it might come out to actually work for them quite well. But then Fnatic, I mean, they're almost a full item ahead of every single member currently, and even nRated, who feels very confident with where he is, has double GP10, which you never see anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point about things as well. I mean, he's got those 8 assists on him right now as well, so we'll see where that actually leads this nRated on Janna to be by the end of the game as well, since everything, to be honest, is going right for them. He's a good 2,000 gold ahead of his counterpart Nami right now.
And actually in North America, we see more Janna's build, actually a little bit of AP on top of that, so your shield obviously does a little bit more, your Monsoon helps out a little bit more, so he might build that into a Twin Shadow, you know, just to get a little bit of extra slow, but in the meantime, Fnatic pushing this middle turret. SK, they try to defend them away from it, just the presence stopped it, but I don't know how long that's going to work, because right now, xPeke is waiting on the sidelines to go in.
Yep, they are waiting there. And look at the pink wards that are down as well from Fnatic. Complete control of that top side of the jungle. And, well, the Baron really is what they've got control of there. And that's certainly something that SK, at this point, can't afford to let go. And I also don't think something that Fnatic would be particularly interested in at this point. They are that far ahead. Almost 11,000 gold after almost 24 minutes.
And I refer back to something that Dyrus actually said from TSM, that Baron, it's kind of like a new magnet. Like when you're this far ahead and you're this experienced as a team, there's no reason to be going for that. You know how to close out games and you just have to execute that. And right now, SK still with xPeke on the side. It's like a ticking time bomb here, and it looks like Mac's going to engage.
They're going to go in there. sOAZ actually getting right in on top of them. There's the unstoppable force as well, and they are locking them up. Kevin actually getting in decently amongst them. The tidal wave will come through as well, but there's just too much damage. That's a good shockwave coming out from Ocelot, but will they be able to finish off? Right now, it's 2 for 1 in favor of SK, and they're going to keep chasing here. Although xPeke full HP, it's going to take a long time to actually get him down. There's a good Howling Gale. xPeke safe.
So that is what SK needed to get back in the game. Kevin with the perfect position right there, going into the team of Fnatic and just locking them down while they try to deal with everyone else. A 1-for-2 trade that, you know, SK, they honestly needed at this point, just being down this far currently. They do get a pull on a Janna here. Yeah,
he actually went through there as the ace in the hole from CandyPanda. Gonna tie it up, and that was a bit of a strange one, actually getting through with the Howling Gale as well. And that dredge line working out for him, and that pulls them back a little bit, gives them turret number 3 in this game, and you know, it's never over. It's never. League of Legends is never, games are never over, however far behind you are. Although at this level, you have to say it's less likely for the teams to make a major mistake.
Yeah, very true. But you know, you might even say that fight might have been a little bit of a mistake on Fnac's side, just because they kind of lost it. But I think SK noticed a little bit of a problem they're going to have is xPeke. He was in the back line of SK and wasn't touched. Like for the entirety of the fight, he almost soloed Ocelot 1v1, and obviously he was doing it earlier. He needs to not be able to do that. Ocelot needs a little bit more damage, but still, the tidal wave that came in, the ultimate out of Kevin was very well set up, and even the Orianna ultimate, they didn't use it all together, but they used it defensively just to escape the fight and not lose as many people.
I see Cyanide who got those boots of mobility on him now as well, just to make him even more annoying. I mean, you just don't get away from a
And
Nunu.
has home guards.
Yeah, and has home guards as well. From a Nunu Malphite combo, very difficult to actually get away there with those slows that they can put down. A lot of pings going on right now, a lot of wards at the same time put down by nRated, who, you know, just bringing in the money all over the place with these double GP10. He's now 3,000 gold, almost in the lead over his opposite number Nyph.
And you're seeing the reflection of that just in the amount of wards we've been noticing now throughout the jungle of SK. And it looks like Fnatic actually might set up for Baron right now. And to be honest, they've let the least amount of Barons go to the other team in the entirety of the spring split of LCS. We're going to see hyrqBot face check.
Oh, hyrqBot is going to face check in there. Can they actually peel him off here? I mean, we've got the ball on him, and that's already a big deterrent for Fnatic. They know that that big tanky Nautilus in the middle of them, a shockwave can really bring them all down very quickly, as we saw in that last fight. But Fnatic are going to once again back away towards the Baron pit. The question is, are they going to actually start it off? Well, unwillingly they have, as we are going to see them pushing in for this one. Nyph absolutely destroyed in that one. They're going to keep going through. There is the shockwave though. Points on 3 of them. Kevin going to dive on top of them. He goes down. That's a double kill. Coming in for YellOwStaR. Cyanide did use the absolute zero. They're going to follow through. Ocelote is a dead man. They're still chasing CandyPanda. hyrqBot and him though will get away from that. And that was a 3-for-1 here for Fnatic.
Yeah, with Fnatic, just the vision control they have, even with the Oracle and nRated, they denied all vision to SK, and they had to check it. We even see CandyPanda kind of getting chased down, as you check out on your screen, from xPeke, which, as you can tell, CandyPanda's not really going to win that trade, but Fnatic, they're kind of baiting SK into some Baron fights here, as they're going to be backing away or engaging.
Oh, sOAZ actually going in. They've managed to catch hyrqBot, but will they be able to finish him off? That Howling Gale will certainly help. Slow after slow coming in by Fnatic. In the end, though, hyrqBot will walk away from that. Didn't attempt the Baron. Probably a wise choice in hindsight from Fnatic.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. They're only getting stronger at this point, and if anything, they're going to use it as a bait. They're not actually going to fully go for it here. They do have one outer turret left to take, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do want to go for that. But as you are seeing right now, xPeke taking away the blue buff from SK, and we mentioned earlier, in the alternate EG game, where if you can keep taking away the blue buff from the enemy, you really hurt them, especially in Anivia, and especially in Orianna, who doesn't have that 40% CDR, which Ocelote is going to be hurting for now in these fights.
Yeah, I mean, the Athene's going to be helping him out a little bit with that one, but honestly,
not enough.
Not enough at this point, that's for sure. If we look down the AD carry seat, then I say not too far away, but Infinity Edge compared to a Bloodthirster, then you've got Zeal for both. Last Whisper is already done over for YellOwStaR as well, and he's got 900 gold to spend. Right now, 1,000 gold on Caitlyn to spend, which we will see spent up there with that pickaxe coming in. Double Doran's blade for him. So, overall, the problem that I think SK are going to have here with CandyPanda is that, if xPeke gets on top of them, number one, your attack speed's gone. And number two, even if you do attack him, he's got almost 400 armor.
Yeah, so the last Whisper, you mentioned it on YellOwStaR, CandyPanda needs to get one. And the funny thing is, YellOwStaR has one when the other team doesn't have that much armor currently. Like, you have Azonia's on Kevin, so pretty much YellOwStaR can sit back and attack whoever he wants to. If hyrqBot gets in his face, he's not going to be worried about it. He'll be able to take him 1v1. We do see an Oracle picked up on Nyph right now, and nRated still has one as well, so they're trying to kind of catch each other out here, and you might see a fight break out.
There's a Howling Gale going over there. It looks like they want to go for hyrqBot, who is going to be the big tank if they can get him down. Surely SK don't have a chance of standing around in this one. sOAZ will finish that one off. And there is Nautilus gone. And not only that, with Baron available, there's no smite.
Yeah, that is very true. And just go back real quick to that fight. We saw Ocelote. We talked about blue buff and the cooldown reduction. The Command Protect was on its way to hyrqBot. It would have saved him, but he didn't have blue buff. He didn't have that cooldown reduction. And with that last fight, Fnatic will be going for Baron here. And honestly, it's not going to last too long. It looks like SK is just going to give it away and try to push a lane or two. Or actually, it's going to seem like they're 100% sure that Fnatic is going for it.
Well, it doesn't really matter. They've got a new jungle who's got Consume and Smite. That is a lot of damage to come out very quickly. You shouldn't be missing anything with that. And well, if there's one man in Europe that can, time the smites down to perfection, it's Cyanide. Seeing him stealing time and time again. And so right now, then, let's have a look at the overall picture. It's a gloomy one, I think, is the overview for SK Gaming right now. 19-6 behind in kills, 5-3 in turrets. 52,000 to 37,000 only gold. We've got the Baron buff now on Fnatic, and the only thing that SK can really do is look to farm up here as much as they possibly can.
And the thing is, we always look at compositions like this and how they're going to take an inhibitor turret. So right now for Fnatic, they have no threat of just attacking it. Like, SK cannot do a really hard engage on top lane unless they want to do the Nami Kennen combo, but I don't really think that's going to fully catch Fnatic off guard. So they're going to be able to siege these turrets down, and SK, they don't have that much great wave clear. It's all up to Ocelote, who doesn't have the blue buff, the regen, the cooldown reduction. So SK, they're going to have a really tough time defending against this, but Nyph, We've seen him land perfect Aqua Prisms before on the sOAZ. If he can do it again, they could potentially go for a kill on him, or at least keep him out of the fight. Though we have to say, sOAZ does have Zonias now.
Look at that damage already there onto CandyPanda. Just a couple of attacks coming in, a couple of abilities, the arrow coming out, and sOAZ getting in there as well. And he's left with almost nothing just after that little spate of attacks. Right now, xPeke waiting over the side of the wall, and well, between him and sOAZ, they can cause pretty much death for everyone that lands, that's landed onto in their path. YellOwStaR here is going to get focused down, but look at that shockwave, absolutely in nowhere, and that might be a sign here for Fnatic to keep going onto things. CandyPanda down to half HP in the end, but Fnatic decided, no, we're not going to go just yet, but they know that shockwave's not there. They know that there's a lot down in terms of ultimates from hyrqBot as well, which can be a big one. There is a chance that they could go here in the next couple of waves.
Yes, very true. And I love how I talked about how SK has no real way to lock down YellOwStaR, so you can just re-attack the turret, and right there they pull him in and almost kill him instantly. So at least SK can use that and a little bit better about themselves, maybe be able to use that. I think we have xPeke engaging.
And they're all dead. At least two of them are for now. Fnatic in there. Kevin's going to try his best, and he gets in with his ultimate, uses the Zonias, but the damage is just not there for him. And they're going to kite him around. Double kill coming out for sOAZ, and there is xPeke on the fountain, is now unstoppable. He's got the turrets hammering away at him. He wants a little bit more of a piece of hyrqBot, while the rest of his team really start to push through for the win.
And it looks like a Classico might be over as soon as it began. 32.5 minutes here. They're on the Nexus turrets, and it looks like Fnatic will close this game out.
Yeah, they certainly will, I think, at this point. 20 seconds pretty much until the team comes up. Fnatic going to finish off the turrets. The Nexus is going to fall, and they make their record 19-0 against SK Gaming here. But more importantly, they go 2-0 after 2 games, obviously, in the summer split of the European LCS. Fantastic performance.
And unfortunately for SK, they're 0-2 now, losing to Meteor Makers and now Fnatic. And Joe, maybe it's lucky number 20. Maybe that's the one they'll come back and win, but you know, you still have to give SK credit. Like after the first loss they had, we know they're a very heavy momentum team. They still came into this one and played really well. But the unfortunate part was that ocelote just kind of got shut down, and they didn't really rescue him.
Yeah, he wasn't really able to get involved in the game after those, 3 1v1s. Then it didn't really get any better for him after that. He kept getting shut down. Finished off with an Athene's Avoid Staff and the Sorcerer Shoes, which, 3 decent items, but he probably needed them about 20 minutes ago in the game. So, fantastic performance from Fnatic. Let's not focus on the negatives here. They came out flying against SK.
And you said it before we started, sOAZ can play anything, and he showed right there. Playing Lissandra.
Just
playing